everyone, Arlene here. Welcome back to my Country Craft Corner. How in the world are you guys doing today? It is so good to see you again, and thank you so much for coming back by to see what I and my daughter Kristen are up to today. Kristen, this is Saturday. I don't know when I'll post this. Maybe this evening, maybe tomorrow, maybe Monday. I'm not sure. But regardless, Kristen had the idea that she would like to ask me 20 questions. In other words, she's going to interview me and ask me 20 questions, and you guys will hear her. She doesn't want to be on camera, and you know, we all respect that. We totally respect that. But you are going to hear her voice, and you're going to hear her asking me these questions. I have no clue what she's fixing to ask me. I swear to goodness, I do not know. But she thought this would be fun for you guys to have her interview me. So I'm kind of nervous, but we'll go with it. So here we go. Kristen, take it away. Here's my daughter, Kristen.
Hi guys, I hope you're having a excellent day. It's beautiful here. So I'm just gonna ask my mom some questions. The first 10 are more detailed, and the last 10 are more of a rapid fire type question. So we'll see how she does. Okay, my first question, or I'll start it with a statement. Now, while we all know that you have a very unique name yourself, mine is equally as hard to find on those little name plaques at the souvenir shops, which we know made me so happy as a kid. Meaning it's nearly impossible to find my name. So how did you choose my name, or specifically the spelling of my name?
Well, your daddy's name is Chris, and I knew that our first child, whether it was a boy or a girl, would be named either Kristen or Christopher. And I wanted it's the first part of it to be Chris, C-H-R-I-S, not K-R-I-S. I wanted it C-H-R-I-S. And I was a dummy and never realized that Kristen is really spelled C-H-R-I-S-T-E-N instead of T-I-N. So the way I spelled her name was C-H-R-I-S-T-I-N. And no, we have never been able to find your sweet name. Christine, yes, because they add the E.
Yes. Well, that is not true. We did find one thing one time at a craft fair in Occoquan.
Okay.
So, and it has my name on it. So.
Yes. And she still has it to this day because it's probably worth money by now or something.
I do have it to this day. Anyway, okay, number 2. And this is a bit egotistical on my part, I guess, which I'm actually not.
Not
I'm
at all.
Kind of
this is
a
like
humble person, but I'm
humble.
curious.
Very humble.
What accomplishment of mine has made you the most proud? I didn't mean to make you cry. I didn't mean to make you cry at all.
She's also the best at making her mother cry. Several. One, I would say how she did in college. In high school, Kristen was more quiet and standoffish, and got good grades, always got good grades, but never like straight A's or anything like that. And I didn't expect that. I didn't expect them to have straight A's, you know.
Right.
I always praised them for whatever they had if I knew that they had worked hard, you know. I'm talking about both of our girls. But when Kristen got to college, it was like the light bulb came on, and she all of a sudden started getting like straight A's. She literally in her 4 years of college only got 3 B's, and the rest for A's, right? And you graduated 2 B's, which in turn leads me to kind of my second thing. And if you're talking about accomplishments, there are many things throughout her life that I'm so proud of her for. You know, I'm her mom. But things that she's been recognized for, you know, outside of our household, when I'm saying I'm proud of you for everything, Kristen, you know, is that she got her county's teacher of the year. Not just her school, but also went on to to get her county's Teacher of the Year, which was an amazing accomplishment in her 5th year of teaching, you guys. In her 5th year of teaching. And she was teaching, you had taught 1 year of 5th graders, and then the other 4 were 4th graders. And she moved to kindergarten 2 years ago to challenge herself, because in 4th grade she felt like she knew what she was doing and she wanted to challenge herself. And so she requested that her principal move her down to kindergarten.
I asked.
Yeah, well, she asked to be moved. So I guess out of things that she's been recognized for, and there have been other things too, but those are the 2 things. I know also too.
What? That I won't ever take credit for the Teacher of the Year.
She doesn't.
I don't ever tell anyone.
I just mentioned this about a month ago, maybe, in one of my Q&A Mondays. And I had asked her permission if I could say that she was Teacher of the Year. But not only that, my dad has come to Kristen's classroom and has watched her teach. And, as you know, he is an educator, and he is enthralled with her teaching and so impressed with how she teaches. And he was an educator and within the schools for years and years, decades, and he said she's one of the best he's ever seen in his memory. And then one other thing that I wish, and that is that my mom could have seen her and could have seen how she's excelled. When my kids used to go and visit, they used to go and visit with my mom and dad every summer.
Yes.
And it was always something that my mom and dad were so much fun with them, because they always did something fun but educational. They'd take them to climb waterfalls, but in the meantime they'd be looking for tadpoles, and they'd be turning over rocks, and they'd be getting told about the rocks and the who knows what.
Gettysburg and Harper's Ferry.
Gettysburg, Harper's Ferry, all these things that my mom and dad would do with them. They just wouldn't go spend time with them at their house. They would go and they took them to a lake one time, and my mom had a skeleton. She
had a skeleton
had a skull. And mom was a science teacher, and the kids, they learned so much. It just wasn't, fun times, which it was at Grandma and Grandpa's, but it was also an education. And I know my mom, she's looking down on us, Kristen, I know it. But I know that she would have loved to have seen and been able to go, like my dad does, come to Kristen's class every now and again, just to witness her, just to look at her and see how she teaches. That would be amazing. That would have just been amazing. If I had one wish, that's what it would be. I wish that my mom could see you teach.
Well, and unfortunately, by the time that her disease reached the point it did, she actually never knew that I was a teacher.
She didn't. That's very true. That's very true. From Kristen's high school graduation, remember her running down the bleachers when it was thunderstorming? We were on metal bleachers.
I don't remember that because I was on the
You were on the field. Chris, myself, Candace, and my mom and dad were sitting on the bleachers, and there was a thunderstorm, really bad thunderstorm, and everybody was taking off. My mom had high heels on. Here she goes. She's trekking down those bleachers. Get off the bleachers, Arlen. It's gonna hit you. Lightning's gonna hit you. And I'm like, okay, Mom, I'm coming. Hang on. She was off like a shot, buddy. She was in good shape, but she said, get off the bleachers. That was funny. But from that year till 3 years later, my dad couldn't bring her down. When Candace graduated, my dad could not bring her down because she was too ill. So just in that 3 years, and Kristen was by that time your junior year of college. And she didn't know. Unfortunately, she never saw Kristen teach, or never saw you graduate from college, or know about your grades or anything like that. And that just breaks my heart for Kristen, of course, my heart, but for Kristen more, because I know she would have loved it. So I've rambled, sorry, but that's a good question, Kristen.
Sorry, it was a bit egotistical.
No, that's not egotistical. That's good. They love to hear, right? You guys love to hear stuff like this. I know it.
So how do you feel we are alike?
You and I?
Yeah, she probably talked about that before, but how are we alike?
How are we not alike? Other than I am very gregarious and I don't worry about myself in the camera. And Kristen is, because of her job, is she's very careful about her social media accounts and that kind of stuff. She's very careful, because she's a teacher and she's very aware of, not that she does anything nefarious or anything, but just, she's very careful. But I would say, Kristen, of my two children, this is the one that is most like me in personality. And people say in looks too. People say you look like me too. Although people say I look like Candace looks, I don't know. But definitely, Kristen, she is, wears her heart on her sleeve like I do, although she's not as emotional as I am. She's better at, I don't want to say controlling her emotions, but she's better at hiding them. Would you say that's true?
Yes, that's true.
Would you say that's
accurate.
true? Yeah. And, but she is as tall as I am, and her hair is about the color my hair was. Of course, we don't know what color my hair is now, but her hair is doing about the same thing mine was at her age. She is a good teacher, and you all tell me I'm a good teacher, but not in that way, of course. But she's patient with her students and with me and with her dad and with life in general. She's a patient person, and I feel like I'm patient. I get anxious when I'm doing my crafts, but in real life I would say I'm pretty patient. I'm trying to think what other way, in every way, pretty much. She's like my doppelganger. Isn't that what they say? How they say doppelganger? Yeah.
Well,
and anybody in the family you ask would say that. Definitely, I think. Go ahead. Sorry.
Yes, we're similar.
Yeah, we are similar.
Also different.
We are different. Yes.
My next question was.
All right. Well, how are we different?
How are we different?
Yeah. How would you say we're different? I get to ask her a question too.
Which was my number 4 question anyway. How are we different? So.
Oh, okay.
I would say that while I keep things inside a lot more than you do, I also don't let things get to me like you do with
That's
certain
very
things.
true. Yeah.
But that's something I've learned through the years. It's not something that I can say was always true. As a teenager, I let everything get to me. Mm-hmm. If you ask my sister, I was a drama queen as a teenager.
That's
so
true. Yeah. Yeah.
I've learned through the years to control it more.
I agree with you.
And I would say that we have.
It's hard to figure out what we're different.
It gives you energy to talk to people, and and being around people feeds you and lets you be happy, and it brings you happiness. Where I am a good person I can talk to people, mm-hmm. It drains me, mm-hmm. and it does, and I need to recharge after having to.
Yeah,
talk to people.
Where I zip around for hours after, like doing something like this, I'm like, energized for sure. That's very true.
In social situations, you are more of the person to want to make sure everyone is okay, make sure that people are talking, that you're talking to everyone, you're being the life of the party in a lot of ways, whereas I will sit back and listen and watch, mm-hmm. and not really engage, and people might think that that's a bit antisocial of me, which that would honestly be true, that it is. But if you ever came up and sat next to me, I'd carry on a conversation with you, but I don't feel the need to walk around and make sure everyone's okay, because
she knows me like a book, doesn't she? And I know her like, that's very true. Very, very, very true. Yeah. But I'll tell you, if you need a fort in the storm, yeah, you can come to me anytime. But let me tell you something.
She
will be right there.
I deal with
you mean, yeah.
And
I tend to focus. In on what is happening and taking care of that, and then Kristen takes care of the superfluous.
Behind the scenes.
Yeah, absolutely, that's very true.
I just kind of naturally jump into that role.
He does. She's definitely the oldest child, you know? Yeah.
Yeah, of just
very
taking
true.
care of what needs to be taken care of so that other people don't have to worry about it being done.
Me, usually. Yeah, that's very true.
You were dad.
Yeah,
but
yeah. Speaking of dad.
he's mowing the grass right now, so there you go.
We're going to have to talk louder.
What's happening? Okay, number 5. What personal accomplishment for yourself are you most proud of?
Oh, gosh, Kristen. YouTube. You agree? You agree?
I agree.
Yeah, I would say my YouTube channel. I've for how many years did I did for my kids? I mean, you know, as all of us moms have done, you know, through the years, we do for our children. We volunteer for their schools. We do this. We do that. You know, I was a stay-at-home mom. I took care of the house. I volunteered. You know, all of that stuff, and I never thought that much of myself as far as what accomplishments I could do. And I've mentioned to y'all before how my mom always said to me, Arlene, you'll find your niche one day. Don't worry, you'll find your niche and you'll know it when you found it. Well, it took me till I was in my 50s, like I've said, to find something for me that I thought I was good at, you know. She was, you know, Chris is very accomplished. He made a great living and gave us a great life, me and the kids, you know, and we're so grateful for all of that. But I never really contributed monetarily to the household, you know. I did have that one business for a couple years, but it was out of our homes, and I was you know, had a girlfriend of mine, and we were just, you know, that wasn't much of a business. It was, but we didn't make any money at it. And I'm not trying to make money. And I went into YouTube not trying to make money. And I'm not making much money. I'm making enough to cover my crafts. I've told you guys that, and my decorating, which is awesome. But when I started my blog, I guess that's when it's BLOG, my Country Craft Corner blog. I guess that's when I started to see, well, hey, maybe I can contribute something. Maybe I can excel at something. Maybe I can be good, you know, at something for me, you know. And I've told this story, you and my friend Liz were the ones that kept saying, Arlene, you need to do, or Mom, you need to do something on camera. Just do one of your lanterns on camera. Just try it. Just try it. And I was like, you guys are nuts. You guys have lost your mind. Nobody's going to want to watch what I do, you know. And I've told you this too. I left to go on a cruise and threw up a couple of videos, one of which was a lantern video. And when I got back, I'd opened my YouTube channels, my Country Craft Corner and my Arlene's Travels YouTube channels. And I got back, and on my Country Craft Corner, I had over 30 subscribers. And I was like, 30 subscribers? 30 people like what I'm doing? What in the world? And I said, Kristen, who would watch me make a lantern? My goodness, what in the world? And then it hit me. Well, maybe I am pretty good at this. Maybe I do have something to offer. And then you guys, you know, my subscribers grew, and you guys that have been with me all through the last 18 months know, you know, what my story is, and that it's not only my crafting and my decorating, but it's just me being me and not putting on airs. Kristen can tell you I am exactly in person like I am.
The person you are online. And as a person, an avid YouTube watcher, I personally search for those genuine people. Yeah. And I know the impact that someone sharing their lives or their skills can have on a subscriber, an audience member.
And I never really realized that. I didn't. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No,
I interrupted you.
That was...
I interrupted you. I'm sorry. But I never realized that. I knew that Kristen watched YouTube, and she would always say, "Oh, did you see?" And I'm like, "No, I didn't see that." And she'd show it to me. I'm like, "Oh, that's cool. I like how they're doing that," or whatever, you know. And she and I would talk about it. But she is an avid YouTube. She's the one that, as I said, watches people that have millions of subscribers, you know.
But they didn't necessarily have a million subscribers when I started watching them either.
No. And that's what she always tells me. She kind of admonishes me, and she says, "Mom, you have a lot of subscribers. You've only been on YouTube for 18 months, and my channel is growing." And her what has your prediction been? by May.
that you'll hit 10,000 by May. So hopefully that happens.
Hopefully, I don't know. We'll see. It's a couple more weeks here, so we'll see. Or a week or
Two more weeks.
2 more weeks. So we'll see. You know, I don't know. And I let me pause here, since we're talking about this, because I think she has some rapid fire questions. Lord help me.
I'm only on question 5.
Oh, you're only on question 5. How many do we have?
20.
Oh my
Rapid
land, have
fire
mercy.
10.
Okay. Is to say how much I appreciate all of you, and the feedback I get from you guys. And you know, when you get positive feedback like that, it eggs you on. It makes you want to do better. It makes you want to show more. I remember when I first started, I was like, oh, I don't want to say I live in Spotsylvania, Virginia. I don't want to say that, you know, that Chris is an engineer. I didn't want to say that I was a stay-at-home mom. I didn't want to say that I was, you know, because I thought people would look down on me for being a stay-at-home mom and never working outside of the home, you know, and that kind of thing.
Stay-at-home moms have one of the hardest jobs in the world.
Yeah, it's true. But anyway, thank you guys. I mean, thank you guys. It's because of you that I'm able to do this, and I'm loving it. It has fulfilled a place in my life that I never knew was empty, honestly. I feel accomplished for really, I mean, other than being a good mom. I know I was a good mom. I am a good mom, you know, and a good wife and that kind of thing. I never, you know, but I was never, you know, I don't have a college education. I don't have a college degree to hold in my hand. I went to college, but I didn't graduate because I got married and had started having children. So anyway, go ahead.
All right.
I ramble.
Number 6. Which thing have I done that scared you the most?
I'm gonna say one time when you were headed back to college, and I got a phone call. Was after you got? Was that before cell phones? I can't remember how you let me know.
No, I had a cell phone. I had got a cell phone when I was 16.
It must have been it. Mom, like, yes. Are you all right? Well, like, what? A tractor trailer just ran me off the road, Mom. I'm like, what? Oh my Lord, are you? Yeah, I'm fine, Mom. I'm like, Kristen, what the heck happened? Oh, he just came over. She was the most nonchalant attitude, and I was like freaking out. I'm like, oh my gosh, Dad and I are on our way. Mom, I don't know, was the car broken? I can't remember if that was the time that your car was broken.
There was damage to the car, but it was minor damage because the tire came over on
That's
top
what it
of
was,
me.
yeah.
Because I had a sports car, I had a 3000 GT, used 3000 GT.
Very used. Chris
and
bought it and fixed it up. Yeah.
I was able to accelerate so that he didn't take me underneath his trailer.
Yeah.
So because my car would have fit underneath his trailer.
So that was one thing. It all has to do with like things that you might get hurt.
Oh, okay.
The other thing was, and this was another car wreck, she got T-boned in an intersection. It wasn't her fault. The guy ran a red light and T-boned her, and airbag deployed and the whole bit. And again, she was okay. Thank the Lord. She was okay. She definitely has an angel for those 2 times sitting on her shoulder for sure with her, you know. So I would say, I mean, your choices in your life, I think you've made great choices. You know, so I don't, that never scared me. Anything you did, nothing like that ever scared me.
It's because I'm too scared to do things.
It's because she won't. Yeah, it's true. It's
Anyway.
true. And that's nothing that we've always given them the leeway to go and try and do and excel and whatever. And she's excelled, but she's not a risk taker.
No,
I would say
I'm
that.
not a risk taker. Number 7, this one's an easier one, or like a lighthearted one. Who were your favorite bands as a teenager?
Well, as you all know, I was not allowed to really listen to a lot of rock music or anything, and I think I've told you I had one Kiss album. So I liked Kiss, I liked the Doobie Brothers, I liked the Carpenters, still love the Carpenters. Little River Band, I liked the Little River Band.
Okay.
I guess that's some of them, yeah.
Okay. Number 8, and this one's going to come back on me, I know it. What are some of your pet peeves?
One of my biggest, and y'all have heard me say this before, but one of my biggest pet peeves is when people leave their shopping carts out in the middle of the out in the middle of the parking lot.
Yeah.
So a car being left in the middle of a parking lot, that's one of my pet peeves. Negativity from people just to be negative, just to egg somebody on, just to be mean-spirited. Mean-spirited people, I don't care for that. I really don't like it when Chris eats pistachios. That kind of drives me a little nuts with him clicking, you know.
What's my pet peeve?
Me typing on a computer with my
It's
fingernails.
not just you.
Well, anybody. Kristen can't stand to hear anybody typing on a computer. That's, yeah. So she brings her, whenever I have editing to do or something, she'll bring her earphones and she'll listen to her music while she's doing her. Yeah.
And my thing that bothers you about me is what? That I listen to
You listen to music all the time.
all the time.
All the time. All the time. Every night and day.
Oh, something else.
I like quiet. That's
Pet
one
peeve
thing
for
about me.
me.
I do like quiet. Go ahead.
If someone chews with their mouth open.
Oh, yeah, I don't like that either.
My mama raised me not to do that. She told me, don't chew like a cow, Kristen.
Well,
That's how I learned not to chew gum.
now,
anymore. No.
yeah, it's true. Now, if we have,
What is something that I have taught you?
you've taught me a lot, Kristen. You've taught me how to. You taught me a ton about YouTube. First of all, she taught me. You taught me that there is such a thing as unconditional love, and you were the first one to teach me that, because you're my firstborn. And any of you moms out there know, you wonder, you know, when you're pregnant for 9.5 months, you know, and you have this little being, nobody ever told you that feeling that you'd get when they put that baby in your arms for the first time. And I'll never forget, I will never forget that feeling I had when they put Kristen in my arms that first time, and I looked at her in her beautiful blue eyes, and she had a head full of hair, and her face was just perfect. It was just perfect. You know, and I don't mean perfect as in me or Chris, but it was like the perfect combination of both of us. You know what I mean? And I just fell completely in love, unconditionally in love. So I would say, not that you tried to teach me that, but that was one thing you taught me, that there is such a thing as unconditional love. Other things, other more tactical things, I would say you definitely have taught me to have confidence in myself, and have gotten on me for not having confidence in myself.
Right.
And she gets rather tough with her mother when I, you know, am down on myself. And you've taught me not to do that.
Describe me in 3 words. 3. Only 3.
Beautiful. And that's one of my pet peeves about you. I'm going to turn it back on you for that. That is, or say that is one of my pet peeves, is that she does not give herself enough credit in any realm of her life. Beautiful. Giving. Just 3 words. I can't.
3.
3 words. Smart.
Okay, so these are more rapid colors. Come back on me if you want to.
Okay.
What's my favorite color?
Teal.
Yes.
What color is my favorite color?
Red.
One of them. Yeah.
What's my favorite flower?
You don't like flowers. You don't
Good.
have a favorite
It was
flower.
a trick question. Good job.
she doesn't. What's my favorite flower?
Gerber daisies. What's my favorite quote?
Oh my land, have mercy, Kristen. You have so many. What's on your car?
No, not that one.
Not that one. She has a quote on her car. Live the life you love the life you live. No.
Be the change you wish to see in the world.
That's it. I knew that. I did know that. Be the change you wish to see in the world. I did. That's a good one too.
Mm-hmm.
I bombed that one, you guys. Sorry.
And that's on my wall in my room. I guess yours is I love a bushel and a peck and a hug around
I
the
love
neck.
you, a bushel and a peck and a hug around the neck. I also love the Serenity Prayer. That's not that that's a quote, but that's one of my favorite sayings. You know, I have a lot of, you know.
Name 3 YouTubers I watch.
David Dobrik.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my goodness. Liza Koshy.
Yes.
Zoella. That's it. Zoella.
Okay.
And Arlen's Country Craft Corner.
Of course. Yes.
Oh, my land. Okay.
Okay. This next one. Well, you answered. How tall am I? You said earlier that I'm your height, but am I really?
She's my height now. How I stand now. She's 5'8". I'm 5'8.5".
I'm actually 5'7" and 3/4.
Are you really? I thought
Yes.
you were 5'8".
No.
Okay. 5'7" and 3/4. We're
What-
tall.
I was going to ask you what my favorite movie was, but then I decided that that would be too difficult because I can't decide myself. But what's my least favorite movie?
Titanic.
No. That's your favorite.
I know, that's one of my favorite. Which are least, anything with killing a dog. You know, anything that has dogs dying in it is Kristen's least favorite movie. We were watching 8 Below, or 8, was it 8 Below?
8 Below.
Oh, that's one of her least favorite. I don't know whether that's one she's talking about.
No.
But she sat there and sobbed. I'm like, Kristen, oh my gosh, what's wrong? The dog's gonna die.
E.T.
Oh, E.T. Go Home. That's your least favorite, is it?
E.T. Or Wizard of Oz.
You didn't like the monkeys. She didn't like the monkeys in the Wizard
I
of Oz.
love the music, but I do.
Well, Kristen, she knows the lyrics to, goes back to her loving all her music. She knows the lyrics. Ask her any Disney song when she was a kid. Her and Candace, the both of them could just, and I'm just like, oh my goodness.
Don't actually ask me to sing it. You don't want to hear that. Anyway. What is my favorite gift that you ever gave me?
Your wooden clarinet.
Yes. And how do you know that?
Because you cried like a baby and you never cry when you open any other gifts. She was in 8th grade.
Yes.
8th grade, and we saw that she was excelling with her clarinet a little bit more, and we, instead of, you know how they start out with the, I don't know, those of you who have kids in band or who were in band, you start out with the plastic clarinet, and she had no clue it was coming.
Because we didn't have money at that point, and it was something that I had asked if I could save up for, if I could earn, if we could put away some to try to get it, and I never expected to actually get one. So that was
yeah. And we wrapped it, Chris wrapped it and camouflaged it, and we were just watching a video about this, about a month ago, and my mom was sitting next to her when Krista was opening this, and the look on Krista's face was like, what is this? And Mom's just sitting there. She knew what it was, and she was just, it was so sweet. And Kristen just lost it. I've never seen you lose it like that ever again. No matter what has happened, never again. She lost it completely.
I never have again.
Nope.
You do.
And
every
we were
Christmas.
never. Yeah, I do every Christmas. Kristen, every Christmas. Well, both of you last Christmas. Forget it. I was just a blithering idiot the whole time. And I've told you the story about how my aunt and uncle, they just give it to Arlene to read. If somebody gets something with a quote on it,
you cried over a keychain quote. A keychain quote.
I did.
There's the background story on that. Why does Arlene get handed all the things to read? It's because she cried over a keychain.
Anyway, just a sap. What can I say?
What am I good at?
You're good at a lot of things. This is hard. I would say you're good at organizing. She's a very organized person, and not just in her classroom. Like, she's the one that put together that beautiful notebook where I put all my P.O. box stuff. She's the one that made up the books that I'm going to show you on my live next Friday that we talked about yesterday. All the books from, where'd you get those? Shutterfly? I said Shutterfly. You didn't get them from Shutterfly. And she can put together something very quickly. Then there are times when you're very slow at that kind of thing too. Sometimes you need to really think it through.
Right.
But that's, you're a wonderful teacher. Of course, that goes without saying. You're a wonderful daughter.
Oh.
You are, you're my heart. Both of you girls, you know that.
Oh my goodness.
You're good at being a daughter.
What am I bad at? That's my next question.
See, I'm trying to say, you never want to say what your children are bad at, you know, and I have mentioned before that you have a problem
Tying bows.
tying bows.
Yeah.
So,
around
okay,
mason
she's bad at
bars.
that. She's bad at, and I can't teach her. I cannot teach her.
I'm
You're
bad
not
at
teachable.
taking compliments.
You are very bad at taking compliments. Yes, that's very true. Obviously, very true. Yeah. You're very humble. You're a very humble person.
My last question, what makes me happy?
Your music,
Yes.
your YouTube,
Mm-hmm.
people you watch on YouTube that make you feel better,
Yes.
that help you escape from whatever is going on that might be stressing you out at work. Reality sometimes, you know. Being in this family, I think that makes you happy.
Mm-hmm.
I think you're proud of us, and I wish more made you happy.
Oh. Do you know little things make me happy though?
I do know little things make you happy.
Sitting
Just
in
little.
the grass, watching the clouds go by, things like that make me happy.
Mhm.
Hearing nature, just little things.
Well, we always say it's the little things, right? You know.
Yes, very true. All right, do you have any questions for me?
Well, I was just gonna say what makes me happy. She'll be better at this than me.
Your
Watch.
family makes you happy. Being around your family I say being around people gives you the most energy. Being around your family gives you the most, like, I'm not talking about day to day with me or with Dad or with Can. I mean, those we do, yes, but I'm talking about when we go to family events and see extended family. Those things make you happy. You get a lot of joy when something comes together in your crafting.
Mm.
You get joy when Candace or I do well with something. You enjoy your TV time and do not like
Yes.
it interrupted.
No, I don't.
You enjoy
It's true.
drinking your tea and responding to YouTube comments and not being bothered by anyone for the first 2 hours of your day.
I told you I'm not a morning person. I mean, like that, to interact with people. It's true. I told you she'd be better my land.
You like animals and any sort of animal you find interesting, and they bring you joy when you see them, especially when you go to Alaska and see ones that you wouldn't see on every day. You love your dogs with a passion, and
we feel very blessed and very, I don't want to say fortunate because that makes it seem like it's money driven, and it's not that. It's emotion driven. It's a fulfillment of life driven, you know, that we're very lucky in that respect, that we have the family we have, that we love the way we do. And as I said, it's unconditional love. It is, you know, and what made you want to do this video?
because I wanted you to have a Monday video. But you might not put it up on Monday. You might put it up today.
I still might not have a Monday video. Probably won't.
She was stressing about her videos, and I thought that this would be an easier video than a sit-down video is easier than having to
It is.
craft
Yeah. It
and
is.
put things together. and think about that and make sure everything's set up and ready to go. Sit down video is a one shot and you go.
Yeah.
And they're much easier to edit. They're much easier to do.
You know, Kristen is, I would say that's one of the things that she is best at, is really paying attention to people's likes and dislikes and being able to hone in when she gives a gift. For instance, like my books for my YouTube, she knows how important all those comments are to me, and that I was blown away by my first year on YouTube, and somehow she thought of the idea of putting together all those books. And she was only going to do one, you said, right?
Yeah, I was only going to do one, but then there was just too many pictures.
Too many pictures and comments and whatever. So, I mean, but I would say that that is one thing that you really excel at, is understanding, knowing the people that you're giving gifts to, and really personalizing the gifts, and really getting to people's hearts. Anyway, is that all the questions you have for me, my dear?
That's all the questions I have for you.
Okay.
Unless you want to ask me more.
Trying to think. I wish I knew what they would want to ask you.
Well, put it in the comments below and maybe I'll answer them.
There you go. If you have any questions for Kristen, put them in the comments below, and maybe we'll do another one of these next weekend. Do a part 2. This will be part 1, and we'll do a part 2. Answering y'all's questions. Kristen will answer your questions. She won't come on camera, so you'll have to stare at me, but maybe one of these days. But anyway, thank you, Kristen, for coming up with this idea and for taking the time to think about all those questions.
And I do want, because I like to give credit where credit is due, I have no idea who originated mother-daughter questions on YouTube, but there are plenty of YouTube videos doing this, so there are other creators out there doing that. So if you Google, or not Google, well, you could Google, but YouTube search mother-daughter tag, I'm sure that there are plenty that come up. There's some really cute ones with little kids answering questions about their moms.
Yeah.
So it's out there.
You know that. All right, and we've gone 48 minutes, Kristen. You believe that? I'll probably edit some of the things out.
I hope you edit it down a bit so it's
I
not
will.
quite so long there. Goodness.
They always tell me they don't mind my longer videos, though.
It is nice to sit down and listen to the people that you watch and hear what they have to say about things. It is nice to get to know them better and to get to know them more in depth.
I agree. This has been lovely. And you're right, it's an easier video, and well, they know how much work I put into my videos, you know, when I'm doing a craft. I mean, any of you crafters out there, you guys know, you know, how long it takes to get everything set up, just to do that, and, you know, I'll make sure you have all your accent pieces, make sure you have all your tools and all that kind of stuff. This was just like, I said, Chris, I'm gonna put some lipstick on. You know, and I just did that and came out and sat down, and she just started asking me questions. She sat out here for a little while and composed her questions, lickety split, and here we go. So maybe you said you're coming next Saturday. So ask questions in the comments if you have any, and if I have enough, we'll go ahead and do another one, or maybe she'll have more questions for me, or I'll have some questions for her by that time. But thank you, Kristen.
You're welcome.
And trust me, if you guys could see her, and now that you know her, I know you will love her just as much as I do. She's awesome. All right, before I close, let me just say that I hope all is well with everyone, and that that your all's health is going along as it should, and that any of you that are struggling, for any of you who are dealing with any kind of chronic pain or worse, I hope that you have a good doctor who has you on a good, you know, medication program, or is helping you through these difficult times. I hope that there's nobody who has anything nagging at them and pulling your attention away from where it should be or where you want it to be. And with all that said, I'll just say, until next time, y'all take good care. Bye-bye.